Okay, so we've been working on finding x-intercepts. We've been using this idea that we could factor the polynomial, or they might give it to us factored, and we could find the x-intercepts. But here they say find the x-intercepts, and they don't give it to us factored, and it's not factorable with our normal factoring techniques. Can't use a quadratic formula because it's not a quadratic, okay? So it's higher degree. So what they tell you is to use, in the book, they tell you use technology. What they mean is use a graphing calculator. Now, I don't require you to have a graphing calculator for this class. You really could probably do it, you know, on your computer, you know, just Google it, you know, kind of thing. I'm not going to worry about that. We have techniques that we're going to talk about later on that will help us find the x-intercepts, the zeros of this type of function, polynomial. But they don't talk about it in this section. So I'm kind of going to say, you know, don't worry about these. I'll try to make sure they don't get in the homework because I don't expect you to go buy a graphing calculator and spend a lot of time learning how to use it. Or I don't expect you to just, you know, Google it, to be honest. But if you wanted to, you could. They tell you in the book what the intercepts are, if you want to look at that. I have not been doing all of the graphing on all of these either. But those are in the textbook as well. So if you want to look at those, by the end of this section, we're going to sketch a graph. So we're headed toward that. They tell us that the x-intercepts are at -3, -2, and 1. So if we were going to look at the graph, we'd say, okay, well, we know there's an intercept at -3. We know there's an intercept at -2. And we know there's an intercept at 1. Let me put those in a different color so you can see them better. So we know that the graph's going to go through those 3 points. How do we know that? I looked in the book. I didn't pull out my graphing calculator. I just said, hey, you know, assume I can find these somehow. So those are the x-intercepts. We also know a little bit about end behavior. It's odd. The degree is 3, and the leading coefficient is positive. So we know it's going to go down to the left and up to the right. So what that means is it's going to do something like, you know, probably something like that. We don't know exactly what it looks like in between. We could find more points. We could find the y-intercept and some other things. We're going to work on that in this section, but, you know, that's kind of a rough sketch of what it might look like. Okay?